All right, for Heathen Dogs, third in his series of players, tips and tricks. He talked about men at arms skill selection, and we went over the headhunter. Then he talked about adventurers and scholars, where he talked about the vagabond. Now we're going to talk about magic and psychic character skill selection, and I'll let him pick it up from there.
All right, here's your deal. As a magic user or a psychic, your main contribution to the group is going to be your magic and psychic ability. So that means your skills have just wonderfully opened up to almost anything. But you want to pick in two categories, one that'll help the group and one that's going to be your thing, your shtick, your gimmick that makes you a three-dimensional character. And we're going to get to that right after this.
The core values of #RPGate and any good tabletop group are escapism, not representation, entertainment over activism, and natural, organic inclusion, not forced diversity. Please follow that QR code or refer to the description below for the link to the charity we support, which is the Wounded Warrior Project. Thursdays and Saturdays, you can watch the Dirty Casuals on twitch.tv/Legion of Myth. Fridays and Sundays, you can watch the Friday Night Chill Stream and RPG Digest on our YouTube and Rumble channels. Please leave us a comment with your thoughts and experiences, and if you like our gaming content, please be sure to subscribe to Legion of Myth.
All right, and as we did in the first two videos in this, we're going to have Max pick either a magician or a psychic.
Ooh, I don't know the names of all of them. As usual, I'm not up on my Rifts lore. I know how much you love it, so we're gonna go with the Mystic.
Oh, god damn it, you suck so bad. All right, fine.
Well, it's either, I'll let you pick, Mystic or Burster.
Mystic. All right.
Wow, I didn't think that.
All right, Mystic it is. You suck. All right, here we go. Now, the one thing that all of the magic and psionic characters have in common is they have the least amount of skills. Some of them even compared to men at arms, least amount of skills. So what do we got for the Mystic? We have language, native tongue.
You want to throw that up on the screen?
What's that?
It's not on the screen.
Yeah, put up on the screen. I'm sorry.
There we go. Walter MC said go with the techno wizard. Too late now.
Too late now. We did it. Native tongue, 97%. You're a master of your native tongue. Good job. 3 other languages of choice at plus 15%. So talking to lots of different people. That's initially your thing. That's one of your things. Okay. Dance, 15%. It's an
wow, that's an O.C.C.
skill. It is an O.C.C. skill. Dance. Remember that. Remember that. Horsemanship general. Okay, you're a mystic, you're more in tune with nature in this deal, so you prefer a horse or a living mount over a motorcycle or a car or doom buggy or whatever. Lore magic and lore 3 of choice. Here's where you can really help your group just by being a mystic. You just know stuff about stuff. You already have magic, so if you pick demons and monsters, if you pick a lore of an area or a lore of a group of people that in the area where you live or whatever like that, you can be an immense help to your group by doing that. Philosophy. Just I don't know why you'd need that in now, let alone the future.
I start too many arguments when I complain about philosophy on Friday Night Chill Stream. I'm not going to do it here.
Play musical instrument, 2 of choice. Okay, so what is the picture that is unfolding for us here? We have dance. We have talking to four different languages where the people. We have 2 instruments we can play. And then we have wilderness survival. It looks like you are a very sociable guy. And with wilderness survival, you get around. So you move from town to town, talking to people
about your philosophy,
dancing, philosophizing, playing instruments. That's what you do. Now, is this useful in combat? No, not at all. None of it is. But the thing is, you are a mystic. Your magic and your psionics are what you use in combat. This is helping the group and being your shtick. And so far, we've got it all. We've got the lore, we've got the languages to help your group, we've got the dance, philosophy, and musical instruments as your shtick. And we have wilderness survival to get you from point A to point B. Let's check out the OCC related skills. Communications, any except laser, optics, sensory, surveillance, TV, and video. Basically,
Weird.
talking. Anything with like a chip in it, probably not for you. Domestic, any. That's not a surprise. You have both dance. You have dance as an OCC skill, so I'm not shocked at domestic any. Electrical, none. Again, not shocked. You are not a fan.
I see what you did there, electrical, not shocked.
Yeah, there you go. You are not a fan of high-tech stuff because you rely on magic and psionics. The opposite, some would say, of the Rift's technical thresholds. Espionage, escape artists, and disguise only. Again, nothing involving tools or props or anything like that. Horsemanship, exotic animals only. Again, that could be your shtick. You handle exotic animals, maybe.
I'm a lion tamer.
You're a lion tamer, or you're a griffin tamer, or whatever.
This is, by the way, this is making me laugh. I actually thought the Mystic would have better stuff than this right now.
Oh no! This is great stuff. This is you're on the wrong thinking.
Okay,
you're on wrong think. Okay, remember, all of your useful abilities are magical and psionic. This is to shore up everything that the group is missing. That's what this Mystic
dance and lion taming.
You don't have to take.
I know.
You don't have to take it. Medical, brewing. Oh my God! Now you make booze. You make booze now. First aid, holistic medicine, but the latter counts as 2 skill choices. Okay, copy that. First aid and brewing. Well, we've got dance. We've got dance. We've got languages. We've got philosophy. We've got play musical instrument. Why not make it a full-on party?
Get drunk.
Booze. You are the greatest frontman to a backward village I have ever seen.
Oh, it's a roadie. This character class is the roadie class.
There you go. There it is. You are the good time guy. All right. You are the good time guy. You go to a backward village. You are the front facing guy. You walk in there. You've got a barrel of wine. You're singing a song. You're helping the village elder with esoteric thoughts and problems and tribes and tribulations, all that stuff. With all of your skills, you are endearing you and by extension the party to these people.
By the way, plus 10% to philosophy when you're drunk.
Okay. Pilot, any except aircraft, power armor, robots, or military. So you can learn how to drive a car, motorcycle, aircraft. Is that all flying things? I'm not sure. I forget at the moment, but if it's aircraft by the loosest sense of the term, that means, nothing that.
No, I think aircraft is again, I'm not a Rifts guy, but from the other books, I think aircraft and jets are different.
Could be. Pilot related, any. The related part is, usually read sensor equipment. People get that. Rogue, any at plus 5%, except computer hacking, gambling, dirty tricks, gambling. Only.
Oh yeah, because there are two types
there's
of
two
gambling.
Different gambling. Exactly right. There's gambling straight up, and there's gambling cheating.
Yep.
You are not a cheater. So that tells you more about what the vision of the OCC is. You're a people person, but you don't take advantage. Notice we didn't get begging. Vagabond got begging, but we don't get begging.
But I'm taking the miscreant alignment.
Then you should probably try something else because it's not going to work for you. Science, any. Knowledge is knowledge, right?
Yep.
Technical, any except computer, cybernetics, jury rigging, mining, and prospecting. I don't know why mining and prospecting, but it could be like raping the land or something like that. That's fine, whatever. But computer skills, cybernetic, and jury rigging, I get, because again, you are moving away from technological things because for you, they are mostly unnecessary because your magic and psionics completely replace technology in your life, or can completely replace technology. And wilderness, any plus 5%, because hey, you like to get from A to B, and to do that, you have to go through the wilderness. Therefore, you must travel. And you select 5 skills from the secondary skill list. Now, again, a mystic is really, really easy to choose skills for. You have to know your group if your group is 5 strong, you're one of them, so 4 others, and you have a juicer, a Borg, a headhunter, and a leyline walker. Your skills are going to be absolutely necessary for social interaction. You double down on the social interaction. You get more domestic. You get more espionage. You get more rogue stuff. You do that. You put all of your chips down on social interactions. You get bartering. You get appraised goods. You get all that stuff. But you still need 2 skills. One shtick, that's your deal, and then one out of the box. Well, what do we choose? I mean, all of this stuff is so general. What do we choose for our shtick? Well, we're probably going to want to choose an OC related so we get a bonus for it. It's either going to be communications, domestic, espionage. Maybe it's going to be brewing. Maybe that's why you take brewing. Rogue or technical. Let's say it's brewing. Making beer, making moonshine, making wine, that's your deal. That's your shtick. Are you great at it at first level? No, man. No, you're not. But it's not going to be poison. It may taste like shit, but it'll do the job. It'll get you drunk. And you know what? Those backward villages don't really care if it tastes good or not. Oh, it has an oaky aftertaste. They don't care. It gets you hammered.
You learn
They're
how to
having
make
a
it in
good time.
coalition prison.
Yeah, fair enough. It gets you hammered. They're liking you. That's your shtick. Now, helping everyone else. Now, for this, your group that I just rattle off is very combat heavy. You're handling all the non-combat stuff. You want your group thing, your group help is to be something for combat. So let's see. What do we have for military? We have none in military. Okay, well that's a bummer. Let's see if we can find something else. Espionage, escape artist, and disguise only. That doesn't really help the group. It helps you. Not so much help the group, I guess, unless you're disguising yourself as an enemy troop. Electrical, none. Communications, any, except anything that would be useful. Pilot, any. You could be the driver. All of the things I said, except for the header. The header is the only other guy who gets a driving skill right off the bat. I know for a fact that my character didn't in the Rifts campaign we played recently. My character didn't get it off the bat, but a headhunter gets it as an O.C.C. skill. I don't think a Borg does. A juicer might, but a leyline walker gets single vehicle only, not APC or truck or anything like that.
I think Borg gets hover cycle or something, but I might be wrong.
Cycle. Well, again, that's not fairing everyone around. Your thing to the group could be you take the vehicle that hauls everyone around. If you have a Borg in your group, you need a truck, man.
Driving Miss Mystic.
Yeah, or driving Mr. Terminator.
Yeah.
There you go. So you need to be able to drive a personnel carrier or a big rig or a truck or something that can also carry your Borg. A Toyota is not going to do it. A motorcycle is definitely not going to do it. I don't care how big your Harley is. It's not going to fit you in a Borg. All right. So that could be your thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your thing to help the group is. It just has to be assistive to the group. It has to shore up something that is lacking in the group as a whole. So right now we have a guy who is a front man for the group. He endears himself to villagers, towns, and even cities because he's so good at it. He's so good at it. Even cities will work. You can barter, you can trade, you can appraise goods, and you can make people beer. Underrated skill for, getting favors and getting people
and talking philosophy.
Be a little loosey-goosey, right? With their information. That plus interrogation from, say, the headhunter or the Borg or the juicer. Get them drunk first. Oh, they'll spill under interrogation. They'll spill it. Lots of ways you can help the group outside of combat. In combat, you have your magic, you have your psionics. It's covered. That's covered. Now, personally, I don't like the mystic because I figure if too many things you can do means you're not great at any of them. And the mystic is the worst example of magic and psionics, both of them, because you're not as good as a ley line walker or any other strictly magician class, and you're not as good as a strictly psionic class. You're kind of okay at both. So I don't like it, but I see the merit when it comes to the skills. I see the merit. You can do almost anything because no one expects you to do anything else except magic and psychics. Magic and psionics. That's all they expect you to do. Everything else is just gravy, which means your choices are open for what you want to take. Just like everything else, take a shtick and take one that helps the group specifically. You have lots to choose from because you don't need any of your skills, really. You don't need any of your non-O.C.C. skills. You don't. As a matter of fact, there is an argument you made that you don't need a lot of your O.C.C. skills like dance, philosophy, play musical instrument. Do you need those? I don't think so. Why are they O.C.C. skills that are mandatory for you to take? Because the idea of the mystic character is to be a holistic character, is to be down to earth, non-technological, more understanding and relatable to people.
You're a
One-on-one.
1990s New Age occultist.
There you go. There you go. He's a people person. So turn into that skid. Take your O.C.C. related skills, turning into that idea that you're a people person. Not taking advantage of people. We got a hint of that with the gambling. You can only take regular gambling, not cheating gambling. So not for taking advantage of people, but for genuinely helping people or getting what you want to make sure everyone gets something out of the deal. There's your guy. There's your mystic. Skills appropriate. You have skills for yourself, you have skills for the group, and you have skills for some fun role play. There it is.
Dirty Ogre says, the mystic has psychic and magic abilities. Why would she need to learn dirty tricks?
But the fact that you are disallowed from one form of gambling and not another, the bad kind, the cheating gambling, I'm inferring that means something about his outlook on life or outlook on people in general. Plus, having philosophy, dance, and two kinds of instruments, he's obviously a people-pleasing person.
Just going to say that on both Rumble and YouTube, there are a lot of people who don't like the mystic.
I get it. I don't like the mystic either. Mystic had horsemanship because there aren't any VW vans available. That's fair. That is fair. Yeah,
and I didn't star them all, but the comments just kept going from there.
I get it. You know, when you see mystic, you think hippie. And you know what? I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from. What you're supposed to see is someone who really, really loves and enjoys being around people, all different kinds of people from all walks of life, mainly to understand them and to help them understand each other. That's what a mystic is written for. And if you choose your skills appropriately toward that, you're probably going to have a better time. And the Mystic O.C. is a scam. It insists you buy Book of Magics and Psyscape to function. That's not entirely true, but it's not entirely a lie either. Because with the magic book, you do get a lot more utility with your mystic.
Those are like the books I don't have. I don't have any books on magic. I don't get involved in the psychic magic stuff and Palladium Books.
No. You can't make magic potions. It's just alcohol. Brewing is alcohol, varying kinds of alcohol.
Ooh. And then the last one I had to end it on I had to bookend this thing.
Mystic sell essential oils. Yeah, you know what? I get it. Yep. And you know what? If you want to make a hippie mystic, it's not a leap. It's a step. And you can do it. Now, is your group going to tolerate you? Probably. And that could be your shtick. That could be your thing. Hippie. You already have the other. You have dance and musical instrument. You're
and
2/3 of the way there. Okay, you have dance, philosophy, and play musical instrument. You are 3/3 of the way to being a hippie. All right, fine. You're a hippie. Yep. Mystics are hippies. You got me. You logicked me into it.
Well, here's what I want to say about the mystic as a whole, and then we'll definitely address the skills. One, I was kind of surprised that I didn't realize that the magic users were so low. I figured men at arms were going to be the lowest in skills with magic users, and then the adventurers and scholars. So that definitely I found interesting. But one of the things that and it was kind of indicative in chat here with both the vagabond and with the mystic is I think that sometimes there's a mistake with players and game masters and people who look at games in terms of things like balance instead of viability in comparing the mystic to the leyline walker or the mystic to the whatever mind melter instead of looking at it in its own role. And I think what you've done with the skills here, especially with the vagabond, was put it in its own role. I mean, we didn't convince anybody that the vagabond was useful, but you actually did convince me to some degree because I don't know much about it because I'm not a big Rifts player, but I've heard nothing about it. Vagabond sucks. Well, actually it doesn't. It has a role. Its role needs to be necessitated by the game master. If that's not the type of campaign he's playing, then you're right. The vagabond isn't good. But at the same time, you can flip that script to the city rat. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you have a strictly combat oriented game master who brushes past all of the non-combat stuff, then a vagabond's not going to be fun to play because the game master is literally brushing off all of the stuff you're good at. So if you have that kind of game and that kind of game master, then yeah, man, don't play it because you're artificially not going to have a good time. But if you have a game master that does NPC interactions, that does bartering and haggling, that will role play a little bit and roll for you begging or dancing or whatever, then the vagabond or the mystic is a good deal.
Right. And obviously, I think Rifts focus on a lot of combat. It's just how the game is set up. But your group doesn't necessarily have to do this. And I told the same scenario over and over again, but I'll say it again. The Borg or the Juicer, whatever, may be able to break down the door of the building that you're trying to get into, but that's going to set off every alarm. That's going to cause all the problems. It's great if you just want to go shooty, but that's not always the answer, especially when you have to repair yourself or heal yourself. If you have that rogue scholar, sure, he's not going to be the best in combat, but he still has a Wilkes 447 or whatever it's called. He still has an MDC gun.
Yeah.
But you're going to
MDC armor.
You're going to want him. He's not going to be in the front lines for dang sure. He's going to be at best sniping from the side, but you're going to need him at that door to break you through it. You're going to need him to use that technology, him or a class like it.
Yeah, it'd be a rogue scientist, a city rat.
Yeah.
They both of them specialize in the whole, cryptography and locks and picking and stuff like that. Electronic locks, stuff like that.
My point with that though is that well, I'm not combat, so I'm useless here. No, you're not useless. Yeah, you need a little more protection. You're not going to be in the front lines, but you still have 4 actions per round. You can still look around that corner and go pop, pop, pop.
4 or 5. 4 or
right.
5. I mean, as we know, the vagabond can take boxing, right? He can take boxing and he gets a martial arts expert, I think, whereas the mystic gets martial arts basic.
Yeah.
But, he's still combat effective.
Yes.
Oh, not as much as my juicer. Dude, no one's as combat effective as your juicer. Shut up.
But guess what? The juicer's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, that's all he does. But the vagabond and the mystic can do so much more. So much more that you can't.
And somebody made a comment in the last episode. I didn't put it up, but it'd be interesting to see a party that included no men at arms, just adventure scholars, psychic mystics, and so forth. Absolutely, I'm sure thousands of people have done that at some point or another.
Completely viable. Completely viable.
And that's the important word, viability. I have never. I hate the fusion element, whatever the hell it's called.
Elemental fusionist.
Yeah, I hate that O.C.C. Everyone in the book is viable.
Yes,
everyone.
The reason being is because with the combination of your O.C.C. special abilities and your O.C.C. skills, you are automatically viable in your role. Automatically, 100%. You serve your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The O.C.C. related and secondary skills is just fluff.
Gravy and frosting.
it makes you interesting, and hopefully if you follow my advice, it'll help you become more three-dimensional as a character, but it's not necessary to fulfill your role. Rifts has got you covered, man. Palladium in general has you covered, but why do they make me take all these skills for OCC? To make sure you're viable. No one can make a GIMP character in Palladium.
And I add one more to that. Make sure you're viable 100% and still allow you some freedom to make the type of character you want outside of that.
You are customizable enough to be significant, especially if you choose the adventure and scholar classes, because you can specialize to a point where you're almost a specialty OCC if you want.
If your game master is making your rogue, scholar, vagabond, wilderness scout, whatever useless, again, I go back and say, yeah, I don't want to say it's a bad game master, but I'll definitely say it's a weaker game master with regard to that. Yeah.
I will say it's their fault and it's their responsibility to fix it, because all of these OCCs are viable in the game. If you think an OCC is not viable, then you either didn't play it right or your game master didn't adjudicate it properly.
It's just as, I mean, he could easily say, look, this is going to be combat heavy. Okay, you know what? Now you know what role you're going. Or this is going to be an anti-man. Like the one we played in, we were all told, you're picking men at, that's it. You're picking, oh, I guess a Nerdy Ogre is a wilderness scout. Excuse me. So there's no magic.
Yep.
We get it, because we were kind of siding with the coalition. It would have been a problem to have magic in there. But so you can do all these things. Absolutely. That does rule out some classes. But through the skill selection that he talked about here, every one of these things is viable. And then from there, what would you say? You have your specialty, and then you have your backup to somebody in the group.
You have your shtick and your group skill. Your shtick is your fun thing that you do that identifies your character from Joe Schmo on the street or from any other vagabond or from any other juicer. This is your thing. And then there's the skill that's for your group. This shores up a possible problem of knowledge in the group as a whole. You do those two things, you're going to have a better time.
So let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, and share. Really love it when people put the links out there on Facebook and Discords and so forth to have folks look over these videos, especially these Rifts ones. But yeah, let us know what you think. Do you agree with Heathen Dog? Do you think that he's wrong? Do you think our chat was right when they're saying, the Mystic? You should have seen some of this chat. That was funny. But, actually isn't good. And the reason why I selected a couple, actually all three of the O.C.C.s, is because to me, they're either the ones that are complained about the most or the ones I see the least. And Heathen Dog put it out there for you as far as, no, like, these are all viable. This is what you do with them. Learn to play within that shtick. And it's not even a closed-minded shtick. It's not like there's only one thing you can do. But every occupational character class, it's an occupation. It has a role. It has a methodology. And then you customize it to your taste. If you're just focusing on, well, I'm a Borg, so everything I'm going to do is only be combat ever, well, outside of combat, don't complain that you're useless.
And even role playing your character at that point, you're just a paper cutout of a character. You have no depth. You have no gravitas. You have no soul. It's not going to be fun role playing your character if you just are a murder hobo, and that's it.